Hey everybody, hope that you are doing well today. This is Stephen with Junior Achievement of North Florida, and I'm here with Becca for another JA Career Speaker Series interview. Becca, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me, Stephen.
Awesome. So, very first part of the interview is just kind of providing a little bit of detail on who you are, where you're from, where do you work, all that good stuff.
Yeah, for sure. My name is Becca. I work for Southern Brothers Inspections. We're a home inspection company in Jacksonville.
Okay.
And I'm from Florida, but from a couple hours south of here, a real small town called Umatilla,
Okay.
and have been living in Jacksonville for about 5 years now, and I love it.
So, you are now working for an inspection company, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so in high school, or in that frame of mind, when you were there, did you want to go to college immediately? Did you want to enter into the workforce? Tell us about that whole experience.
Yeah, I think I pretty much always imagined going to college, which I did end up doing, but I also
Okay.
really wanted to go to a trade school, which I also ended up
Hmm.
doing. So, right after high school, I went to college. I ended up getting a bachelor's degree,
Okay.
and then I went to a trade school and got a cosmetology license, which is kind of what I had initially always pictured
Yeah.
doing with my life. So,
Okay. So
yeah.
what was your major in college for your bachelor's degree?
My major was Christian leadership, and I minored in business administration.
Okay, got it. But you had always had in your mind where you wanted to go to trade school. And so was that immediately after getting your bachelor's?
I got a job for a couple years right after. Thought I would at least give it a shot with a more
Yeah.
traditional job
Yeah.
right away, since I just spent so much time getting a degree. And then after a couple years of working, was like, man, this is still something I really want to do. So then I decided to go back to school again for a little bit.
Okay, and then how long was trade school?
About a year. Yeah.
Okay, got it. So a little bit shorter. I assume it was a little bit less expensive than for getting your bachelor's.
Yes, less
Okay.
expensive, shorter. It was 40 hours a week of in-class learning
Wow.
for 1 year. So it was kind of a more condensed program
Concentrated.
time-wise. Yeah, concentrated. But I know that for a lot of trades, you can spread it out to where you can work full-time and go like at night to a trade school and maybe do like a longer program. I just chose to get it done quicker.
Yeah. So do you regret kind of going to college at first? Did you like instead of per se going after your passion? What was your experience with going to college and then also going to trade school afterwards?
Yeah, no, not at all. I loved my college experience. I met some of my best friends there that I'm still great friends with. It was a wonderful experience. Definitely taught me a lot about work ethic and how to work really hard for something for an extended amount of time. So I
Yeah.
think it was good life skills regardless.
Yeah.
I just was never 100% convinced that the things I would end up doing in life that I was attracted to job wise would need a degree.
Yeah.
Um, which I think is kind of part of that has proved true. And then other parts, I'm like, I feel like my degree has also been helpful. So I
Yeah.
think it kind of depends on what you're looking for. But yeah, and then going to trade school afterwards was also a really good experience. I wouldn't change it going back. I'm glad I did both.
That's awesome. So now you're working for Southern Brothers Inspection, and it sounds like that's a little bit different than
Yeah,
what you kind
I do a
of
lot of
were
hating
hoping
here.
for.
Just kidding.
What kind of led you to Southern Brothers?
Um, I have always known this about myself, but especially post college entering like the workforce, I realized very quickly that I really like change. Not that I don't like staying at a job for a long time, but
Yeah.
I thrive off of learning something new, being a part of different organizations or work situations.
Yeah.
That's very invigorating to me to like learn
Mm.
a new skill or a new type of job. So I have definitely found myself in multiple different job capacities, and Southern Brothers is the most recent, and I've really loved it. But it was a surprise,
Yeah.
accidental joining of the real estate industry.
That's awesome. So what is your role with Southern Brothers?
So I'm our operations manager, small company, which I love that about Southern Brothers. So some days that means I'm mostly talking to clients and real estate agents and setting up
Mm.
inspections. Some days that means I'm focusing on marketing efforts with, Google ads or Facebook. Just kind of is all over the board, which I really
Yeah,
like.
seriously, that sounds like it's a wide array of,
Yeah, keeps me on my toes.
yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so before COVID-19 and social distancing, what did your job look like?
Um, Honestly, one of the things that's kind of a pro for my job is that it hasn't changed a lot. My
Mm,
specific role in our company, other roles have changed more, but I already worked from home. So, my 8 to 5 general schedule is the same, with
got
the
it.
exception of instead of going to a lot of in-person meetings throughout the week, now I'm doing a lot of Zoom meetings
Right.
instead. But my general day-to-day is the same.
Okay, got it. And then I guess what is it like for inspectors before social distancing?
Before social distancing, we could show up to, and then I say we, one of our inspectors could show up to an
Okay.
inspection, and, the buyer's agent might be there, the seller's agent, the buyers, family members, they want to participate in being a
Right.
part of the discussion of what they find in the inspection. So definitely higher level of people at each inspection, I would
Okay.
say, was a little more normal, where people are much more cautious about that now.
No, that makes total sense. So now that we are experiencing social distancing with COVID-19, how has your job and then also all the jobs with Southern Brothers changed?
Yeah, we're really thankful to be considered an essential business. That's a big blessing during this time that we've been able to stay open and keep serving our clients and agents. So we're just very thankful for that.
Mm,
And then, there are, I would say, in relation to things I've heard about many companies and how much they've had to change, we've had to change a lot less.
mm,
But our main changes have been that, we don't encourage clients to come for the whole inspection and hang out right now. They're welcome to stop
right.
by and talk to the inspector, but we encourage them to come at the very end for the last 15 minutes. Our inspectors have gloves, masks, disinfecting wipes, hand soap, so that way when they're in the houses, they can, periodically be washing their
Right.
hands, since they are going through and touching stuff.
Yeah.
Um, so things like that have just, of course, we're always cleanly and sanitary,
Yeah.
but just taking that to the next level of
Yeah.
every inspection, trying to wipe down door handles after we've touched them and things like that, just to be courteous to anyone that's still living in the house or anyone else that's coming in and out as well. Booties on our shoes when we enter a house
Yeah.
if necessary. Just things like that have been the biggest adjustments. And then also a lot of agents are not coming to inspections anymore um,
Mm,
either. So we can talk to them on the phone if we find a big issue, or touch base with them as soon as we're done doing an inspection to let them know what was found.
yeah. So have you found that, I guess with all the recent developments and everything, it seems that people are being a little bit more conservative, and they might, when they had a plan for moving or even plan for buying a house, to where they're going to be a little more conservative and may not. Is that true, or do you find that less people are going through that moving process?
I can definitely see that we have slowed down, but we haven't by any means come to a halt. So
Yeah.
I think the real estate industry will continue to power through. People are
Yeah.
moving regardless,
Yeah.
especially sometimes due to everything that's happening. If people lost a job and they're now relocating to our area because they got a new job here, or on the flip side, we say if you got sick of your house during quarantine and realized that you actually don't like it,
Yeah.
people are selling their houses because they're like, man, I've been in here for 6 weeks and I did not enjoy that.
Right.
I want to live in a condo at the beach.
Yeah.
So we're kind of seeing all over the board, but yeah, people are definitely still buying and selling. And
Okay.
I
That's good to hear.
imagine that, I will probably be on the slower side for a little bit, but I think it'll pick up really quickly.
Cool.
Because people are always coming and going from Florida for sure.
Yeah. Seriously. Yeah. No, thanks for the insight. And part of the last group of questions is, what's something positive that you've seen that, whether it be like personally or work wise, that you're like, man, this is something that we could even continue once life goes back to normal per se?
Yeah. I have loved seeing how innovative businesses and just people have been. I'm in a networking group that meets once a week, and like when we meet with that group, I mean, there's a doctor in that group that he's seen people in his parking lot
Yeah.
instead of in the office. So they just drive up and they text when they're there, and he comes out and sees them,
Yeah.
or
Wow.
just like so many different ways that it's like this is not life how I or most likely any of us have ever experienced.
Mm.
But like, how can we still serve the general population or whatever our specific like business entails? Like, we want to still serve our clients and agents the best that we possibly
Yeah.
can. Like, this isn't an excuse to slack on anything. If anything, it's a time to like be more gracious and generous to everyone we come across. So I just love people that are innovating and finding ways to like still do business, even if it looks a little different.
Yeah, seriously. I feel like we've even had to learn to be efficient and maybe even more efficient than when we were all interacting in person. And so it really is neat to see how creative people have become, even like what you said, doctors going out, they even doing like telehealth appointments, like
Yeah.
on the cell phone. You're like, golly, it's like we are living in a evolving world.
Yes.
It's fascinating how we're all adapting.
Yeah, I think it'll be really interesting to see what of the changes we've all made in our individual businesses end up
Mm,
being positive, regardless of it being because of COVID, and like what do
right.
we keep and transition into it as we come out of this season.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. And then, final question for you. We are obviously living in uncertain times. We don't really know what's going to happen in the next 24 hours at times. So, why is it so important to focus on finances, financial literacy to be prepared for emergency situations like we're in right now?
Yeah, man, it's crucial, which I've had, a lot of friends that have sadly lost their jobs
Yeah,
because of this. And it's hard. Like, you think that, you have a little cushion, or, I have a small savings account or whatnot, but like that goes away really quickly when you have no income without any notice.
seriously.
Which it's not that I want to live my life always like hoarding or fearful of what's coming, but thankfully my husband and I recently had gone through both losing our jobs due to different circumstances last year, and learned really quickly because of that how important it was to
Yeah,
be financially smart and to focus on having money and savings for something. So we'd really been focusing on that for like, the last 6 months or so.
wow,
Is really
that's
helpful
beneficial.
right now. Yeah, because I was like, man, I don't want to find myself in a situation like that again, because it's scary.
Yeah,
Not that all of our security comes from money, but if you all of a sudden can't pay your mortgage or your bills, a lot of things change quickly in your life.
yeah, it's really true. I think everybody who I've talked to, and no matter who we talk to, is saying like you need to have some type of emergency savings. And it's hard to like look at the account and you're like, oh man, I want to like dip into it, but to know it really is specifically used only for emergency situations like we are in currently.
Yeah, I don't, my husband and I are big Dave Ramsey fans, so we
Mm,
like to try and follow his baby steps. And,
yeah,
I mean, I think there's no wrong way to go about trying to be financially stable, but we've gotten a lot of benefit out of trying to follow those steps and set ourselves up for success as much as we can.
yeah, absolutely. Well, Becca, thank you so much for joining Junior Achievement today and telling students specifically about your job, like what your company does and how it's evolving and what's gotten better, what's gotten worse throughout these COVID-19 times. So we really appreciate your time.
Absolutely. It was great. Thanks so much, Stephen.
Absolutely. We'll see you.
Bye.